Hi guys, and welcome to today's video where I'll be going through 5 reasons your leopard gecko's tail isn't plump. Now, of course, there could be a number of reasons this occurs, but these are the first 5 things that come to mind when someone says to me that their gecko's tail is thin. Now, this is a topic I have kind of covered numerous times over a range of videos, but of course I do have a lot, so you'll be forgiven for missing something. So I thought I'd put all the reasons together in this one video. Now, before we begin, you may have spotted my hoodie here. So this is from Ink Snow Flying, and for full disclosure, I am now an affiliate, so I do have my own little link here. But I do have a number of items from them. Some of my favourites are this phone case I have, this watch because it's like really cute, and this backpack because seriously, the axolotl design is just so cute. Now, I'll leave the link and a discount code below if you want to check them out. But yeah, that's Ink Snow Flying. But yeah, let's get on to the first reason your gecko's tail might not be plump. So number 1, your gecko is a baby or a juvenile. So leopard geckos are well known for their plump tails, but I have found that babies and juveniles, they usually have a plump tail, but it's not super chunky like an adult, and I feel like sometimes people expect their babies or juveniles to have that. So people usually think there's something wrong. Now, here are 2 photos to compare. This is an unhealthy baby, and this is a healthy baby. So you can kind of tell the difference in their tails. So though it's not super chunky like an adult, this healthy one looks plump and in proportion, whereas this unhealthy one, it looks a little bit shriveled and not great. I do have a video where I actually talk about how to choose a healthy gecko, so you can check that out if you like. But yes, a baby or juvenile will not really have the big chunky tail like an adult, but it should look plump and healthy like this. Now, what if your gecko isn't a baby or a juvenile? Maybe it is an adult and it still doesn't have a plump tail. So let's look at some other reasons. So the biggest reason usually is that the owner just isn't gut loading the food. This simply means feeding your feeder insects. I will usually give my feeder insects vegetable scraps I have left over from cutting up the guinea pig food. I'll give it to them all the time, so they're constantly being fed. I'll sometimes sprinkle some insect fuel over it. Sometimes I'll pop in some bug gel to keep them hydrated. Avoid just using jelly pots unless you're providing food alongside them, because they're really only there to hydrate. They don't really have much nutritional value at all. So food is kind of key. It plays a massive part, and if you skip that step, your pet will probably suffer. Third reason your gecko may not have a plump tail is because you're not dusting the food with the correct supplement. Now, I have gone over dusting food, supplement schedules. I've gone through every single vitamin and mineral a reptile requires and what they all do. But unfortunately, there are some of you that will watch those videos, so you're probably sick of hearing me talking about it, but there's a lot of people who find it very complicated and just skip over it. But honestly, I would really urge you to check out my latest supplement video where I do talk about every single vitamin and mineral, what they do, how they affect your gecko, and how calcium and D3 are not the only things you should be providing. There needs to be a lot more. So a lack of proper vitamins and minerals will certainly have a negative effect on your gecko, and in extreme cases it can lead to death. So please don't skip over it, because if you're not using the correct supplements, a lack of a plump tail is the least of your worries, because your gecko is probably suffering in many other places. So I'll leave links below to helpful videos that you can check out. The 4th reason for a lack of a plump tail may be due to underfeeding. Now, obesity is actually a very common problem with reptiles in captivity, because most people actually overfeed them and underexercise their reptiles. However, some people do get a little bit confused about how much they should be offering and how often. Now, once again, I've done a video on this, though it is quite a few years back, but you can check it out. But to summarize, for babies up to 6 months, you feed every day, 6 to 12 months every other day, a year and over, about 3 to 4 days. For me, I try to feed different insects each feeding. If I feed crickets, I'll try to give 5 to 8, ideally 8. If I was doing mealworms, 10 to 15. Something like Morio worms or waxworms, I only provide like 3 because they're not very healthy, they're more like treats. But if you can offer variety, that would be best. So there's like calci worms, hornworms, dubia roaches, locusts, crickets. There's a range of different things you could try, and they'll have a far better impact on your gecko than just offering one insect now and again. And the 5th and final reason could be down to loss of weight. obviously. Now, loss of weight can occur for a number of reasons, and for my females at the moment, it's a natural occurrence, it's ovulation, and I know they're bounced back. One thing when I talk about ovulation though, is I don't want people to overlook other issues thinking, oh, their gecko's just ovulating, that's why it's lost weight. That's why you have to be quite vigilant, observe your geckos, know their normal behaviour, weigh them often, so you sort of know what's going on with them. Now, maybe your gecko isn't ovulating, as I said, or maybe it's even a male, so of course it isn't. So loss of weight can occur for a number of reasons. However, in most cases, if it's quite severe and quite sudden, it could be because your gecko's ill. And unfortunately, it's quite common if you buy them from big chain stores where the geckos are kept in very poor conditions with multiple other sickly looking geckos in the cage. Your gecko can come with parasites. Some even come with sticktail, which is a highly contagious and incurable issue that affects leopard geckos. So my advice to you is obviously try to get a healthy gecko to begin with and don't support big chain stores like that. But if you are in a situation where you think your gecko may have parasites or may be unwell, please take them to the vet. The vet will test their poop, they can test their blood, they can give them an x-ray. I cannot help you with these kind of things. There's not usually a home remedy that will, I don't think there is one that will get rid of parasites. Like, you will need to go to a vet and get actual medicine. It can cost money, but if you're going to get a pet, you have to afford a vet. But I really hope this has cleared things up. I hope the majority of you, it's just something you just need to tweak. Maybe it's just you need to feed the insects a bit more, something like that. If it does turn out that someone out there, your gecko's unwell, I really hope they do have a speedy recovery. But yeah, make sure you check out the other videos I mentioned. I'll leave the links below. Remember to check out Ink Snow Flying site if you do want some reptile or amphibian themed gear. But yes, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I make videos every 4 days, usually about leopard geckos, sometimes crested geckos, and sometimes bugs. But thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.